But first, the obvious about the floods today, where we've sadly learnt that 2 people have died. The first that we learnt about was a man in Newcastle.
What we do know is that at about 6:25 he's called 000. Castle Hill Police have attended along with the Hills State Emergency Services. What is known at the moment is that the 000 operator did continue to maintain contact with the 25-year-old male as he was in the car. However, at 7:04, it's believed that contact was lost with the male.
Poor bloke. We also heard that another person died in the rains in southeast Queensland. Their body has been discovered this afternoon.
We've advised the wife and the family of that male that he's now passed away. The loss of a loved one in these circumstances and just not knowing for the last 4 days where they are, it's out of character, you know, that's going to be painful.
Strength and love to their families and the police who had to break the news. The Prime Minister toured the flood zone in and around the edges of Sydney today. He boarded a helicopter to have a look at what was happening as a result of the Warragamba Dam that has been overflowing and continues to overflow, even though now, of course, the rain is not falling any longer, the sun is shining. The Prime Minister spoke about his experience today.
As the floodwaters recede and the clean-up begins, but their house will be dark and their grief will be great, because their loss will not recede.
Despite all of the difficulties of the past few days, something that is always amazing to see is that spirit of normal people who, even when the floods are like this today and the waters start to recede, it's time to start cleaning up in places like Port Macquarie and the mid-north coast. Now, this will go on for weeks, but it is an effort where literally thousands of people are helping out their mates, then doing their own homes or leaving their own homes so they can take care of their mates. In the coming couple of days, I'll give you some information, if you can, to be able to go and spend the weekend in any of these flood-affected areas, to do what they so famously did in Brisbane a few years ago, which was to pick up a shovel, pick up a broom, put some backache into it and clean up this area sooner rather than later. And as always, when it comes to floods, there are the little creatures that we would prefer not to think about that, of course, try to escape the floodwaters as well. We learned today that there are snakes that are all over parts of flood-ridden New South Wales. The same too for funnel-web spiders, where it is being described as a plague-level proportion, as not only they try to escape the water, but also the temperatures start to heat up. So take it easy wherever you happen to be. And perhaps the grubbiest part of the day in terms of moral behaviour, believe it or not, there are suggestions that people are now looting in parts of flood-affected Australia. Report them to police, don't do the mob justice thing, but report them to police. They are a disgrace.